Hello, sportsmen. Hey, welcome to 1997. You know, we're going to start off this year with the opening day of rabbit season. Now, if you look at the rule book, rabbit season actually starts on September 15th. Who wants to go rabbit hunting on September 15th? You got to wait till the snow falls. Well, right at the end of December, the snow fell. We have a great story and a lot more. You're going to meet John Ford, the new co-host with me of this program. So stay tuned. I'm Fred Trost. You're watching The Practical Sportsman. The opening day of rabbit season for this group of hunters was during the last week of December, the day after 6 inches of new snow fell. The leader of the pack was Spike, a husky, big-boned beagle who has the voice of a coonhound. Our guide, who's Spike's trainer, is 13-year-old Brian Underhill of Laingsburg, the boy who's been learning outdoor lore from his grandpa, who lives next door, Tim Farragon, now stomping the brush pile. Out of every brush pile you do this with, Tim, how many times does the rabbit squirt out? Quite a few? Oh, yeah. Half the time? Well, right. My legs are numb from a lifetime of stomping brush piles. The dog helps a lot. Plus, I suppose if we really work this a while.
Well, I've jumped right up and down, looked right down, they sit right underneath and watch them.
Well, some beagles like to root through brush piles, but what about Spike? No, he shakes his head. No, brush piles are not his thing. Spike prefers the more open country. Small stacks of sticks, clumps of grass, and thickets where bunnies sit. Now, this was a perfect day for rabbit hunting. Fresh snow, so we could tell if rabbit tracks had been made within the past few hours. The temperature was near 30, so it was comfortable walking or waiting. He's off and running. Now the wisdom is, if you stand here, he'll run the rabbit around in a circle. Takes too much patience for me. We got the rabbit, and Spike was right behind it, sniffing out its trail. Now, some beagles will jump on a rabbit when they get the chance, and sometimes Spike will pick up a dead bunny and carry it for a little ways, but this time he didn't. He followed the tracks to the rabbit, gave it one sniff, and continued on his way, so I had to go get it. I hit an impasse. But I guess I got to do it for the camera. The cottontail rabbit is America's favorite small game animal. Now, who knows how many are taken every year by hunters? Millions and millions for sure. But many more than that are taken by foxes, coyotes, hawks, owls. And I guess that most of us who hunt began like Brian, hunting rabbits on Grandpa's back 40. Now, rabbit hunting is a good way to start anyone on hunting. John Ford, who's been behind me with a camera on most of my trips, is now behind the gun on this one, and Matt Radzilowski is behind the camera.
That got up.
It's been a good day of rabbit hunting.
Dog pushed it right out of that grass. It was bent over grass.
Come here, Spike!
Yeah, good work. The key element of a hunting coat is the game bag in the back, and that can sometimes be a tough pocket to use. Well, we missed it. See, these game bags are quite complicated. Right, Brian?
Oh, yeah.
Not nearly as easy as they look. It's a lot heavier.
There you go, sir.
Okay. We like this territory. Well, cottontail rabbits breed prolifically. So prolifically that without wild predators and human hunters, you'd see many more tracks like this in the snow. Sometimes the rabbit population gets so high that Mother Nature hits bunnies with diseases to trim back their numbers. While some people think that the laws of nature take care of the population just fine, we hunters would rather hunt and eat rabbits than let them die from diseases. One brush pile can hold lots of rabbits, but usually only one or two will run out, if any run out at all.
How high do I have to go up?
To the top.
Is this okay?
Something right through the middle.
There we go.
Just point arm.
That was a Hail Mary.
Did you get it?
No. No, I shot where it went. And if it had stopped,
Here's what, here.
maybe I got it.
Here's what, here. Look here. Here's, go.
I had a good shot at it when Tim was right in the way, so I...
No, you did the very good thing.
Drop
there.
the gun.
Yep.
Come on, Spike, that's as fresh a track as you can find.
It's your little noise.
See, that was good, Johnny. Johnny did the brush pile.
I tell you.
Right.
From
We got to
down
put
low.
John in the brush piles from now on.
I told you.
That's the thing to do. Now, I couldn't shoot this rabbit when I wanted to because it ran between me and Tim Farragon. The camera follows the rabbit so you can't see what happened, but I started to swing my gun, and when the rabbit cut to the left and I saw Tim was going to be in my line of fire, I continued swinging, but I pointed my gun barrel down towards my feet as the rabbit crossed in front of Tim, and I lifted the barrel as the rabbit headed the other way. And as that bouncing cottontail was disappearing, I fired, thinking there was a good chance that I'd get the rabbit just inside the brush. Tim and Spike both got on the trail, and they found the rabbit. I knew Tim would find it. No kidding?
Yeah, really.
Well, why did...
Huh?
Oh, well, why didn't Spike get it?
I think he did. I think he dragged it to where Tim could get it.
It's a dog. Well, rabbits aren't big. They aren't difficult to hunt, and they're tasty little critters that you can cook with any recipe that you would use for chicken. Now, Brian told me that if he gets one more rabbit to add to what he already has in the freezer, his mom will make him some rabbit pot pies. Well, because they're so common and so good on the table, rabbits provide hunting enjoyment to millions of sportsmen every winter. Isn't that the darndest thing? Michigan Cottontail Bunny. Do you want this?
No.
Because they're being polite.
You're better than you
They'll
thought
always
you were, huh?
offer to the guide first. And the guide, that's a nice thing to do. You know that, Brian? Well, Grandpa Tim told me that Brian won't take a rabbit that he doesn't shoot himself. It tastes better that way. Well, we don't know who's the actual star of this story, whether it's Spike right here. Spike, who helped us get 3 bunnies, 1, 2, 3, so it wasn't too bad a day. But I think the star is our guide. Now, this is the youngest guide we've had on a hunting trip so far. Brian, how old are you?
13.
Years old.
Yep.
In 8th grade.
Yep.
Hot doggies. And you've already got a deer.
Yep.
And what else? So far this year, you got what?
A rabbit, and I got some squirrels. Got 2 squirrels this year. And I went up north, and I was up there, and I got a whole bunch of squirrels up there. And I shot a porcupine.
Well, this guy is the kind of guide you want to have. A 13-year-old real hunter. And today you were using
20 gauge.
the 20 gauge. Was that yours?
No, it was
That
my
pump?
father's.
Your father's. Ronnie Underhill. Let's give the man credit. Now, who have you learned the most from? Your dad or from the man right behind you here?
The man right
Grandpa.
behind me.
This man?
Yeah.
Well, isn't this special the way it should be? Like the old Field and Stream, was it The Old Man and the Boy?
The Old
Robert
Man and the
Rourke?
Boy. Robert Rourke. Good book.
And you don't mind being the old man, do you?
No, I earned it.
I mean, I'm right behind you. And the boy, this is a real kick to go out with a 13-year-old who knows as much about hunting as you do. So what are some of the things your grandpa's taught you about rabbit hunting?
Mostly about safety. Because when we were out in the woods, and mostly every time I walked, he'd say, "Watch your barrel, watch your barrel." He mostly talks about safety.
But you've had hunter safety class.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still important to watch the barrel.
Yep.
Huh?
Most important.
Now, you also know some things about hunting, though.
Yep.
About where the rabbits are.
Yep. Because I go hunting a lot, and my dog chases them a lot, so.
Now, you wanted to do something that's kind of neat, what hunters do, is you wanted to take us to the spot where you jumped that rabbit the other day.
Yep.
That's called hunting memories.
Yeah.
And you always like to go to the last spot you saw one and got one, don't you?
Yeah.
It's kind of fun. But, there's oftentimes nothing there when you go back?
Yeah, because I already got it.
I know it. You still got to go back and check.
Yeah, just in case.
Now, your dog work impressed me.
Yeah.
How old is Spike?
About 2 years.
Now, for a beagle, he pretty much came when you called him.
Yep.
You train him, work with him?
Yeah, I work with him a lot. So when it comes rabbit season, that he minds and we can get the job done.
And you certainly do.
Yep.
Grandpa, you've done a great job here. Tim Farragon.
Oh, we enjoy it. You got to teach these kids how to do her.
I think you've done a great job. And here we have, come on, Johnny. Here, we can get down here. John's down here petting the dog.
Yep, I'm taking care of the beagle.
Now, you have a 2-year-old? What's Christopher?
Yeah, he's 18 months. So it'll be a few years before he's ready.
Yeah, but you're working on it here.
Yeah.
You got one hand on the beagle.
Yeah.
That's got to be in the future.
And here's the old man right here. That,
no, here's the old man.
I'm the one,
No.
he's the one who did all the training on me.
No, yeah, but you're coming right along
Yeah.
on this.
That's right.
I mean, you're going to have Christopher out here in a while with teaching him
Hopefully.
gun safety.
Yeah.
Get him out here with Grandpa Tim. And maybe someday when, let's say, when Christopher will be 13, you'll be about 23. Yeah, you might still be hunting out here.
I will
Think
still be
so?
hunting out here.
Hey, you're a good man.
Yeah.
Enjoyed hunting with you. Brian Underhill,
Fred Trost.
way to go. We're buddies.
Yeah.
So here he is, the guy who's been inching his way into the show, John Ford, behind the camera since...
People know who I am, though. They've seen me on.
Now they know your name.
Yeah.
They know your name. But John Ford has been behind the camera, I think, for virtually every hunting and fishing trip I've taken just about since 1988.
1987.
87 was it?
July 1987.
I'll be darned. What
You don't even remember.
When you started, behind the camera, you told me that you want to be the best outdoor cameraman on the face of this earth.
Well, I wanted a job.
Oh, so it's a sales pitch, huh?
No, remember you told me that you wanted somebody to go on the trip up to the UP. You're looking for somebody experienced. You have some experience, right, John? And I didn't know how to operate the camera or anything. But I just said, what the hell? Let's try it. Give it a try.
You know, the other thing was that you had not been a hunter or fisherman. At all or particularly?
I don't even let that out. I don't want people to know that.
No, this is good because you have been every week for 9 years.
This is true.
Which is, you've actually gotten in, made up for lost time.
Yeah. That hurts my credibility now.
No. Very frankly, he has turned into one heck of a hunter.
Thank you. My mentor here, of course.
A fanatic, almost.
Yep, it is. It's
Some
tough.
people have wondered what I've created. Hey, I didn't do it. You just took to it.
Yeah.
And now he's made the move from behind the, that's Matt Radzalowski, by the way, behind the camera, and you've made the move to in front of the camera. Now, you're going to be making some changes in the show.
Yep.
He owns the show. He runs the show. He produces the show. And
I'm going to keep him around for a while longer.
well, I have some things that I need to
some
do.
redeeming qualities. He's got some redeeming
Yeah,
qualities.
but I have some things I need to do in the field of law, which I really enjoy. So you're going to be, we're going to still be working together on this, I hope, every week.
Oh, yes.
Now, the rabbit feature we just did, that's the first time, I believe that's the first time since you've been taping the show that we've had a youngster on. We featured a kid.
Yeah, it was certainly a guide. And we've had kids along with us, I guess.
The tag-along stuff. And I've been asked for many years, why don't we incorporate kids in the show? Do you know the
Because they
answer?
don't say anything.
They generally don't say much.
They don't have much to offer in the way of information, and it's usually a yes/no response to the question.
Their experience is limited.
Yeah.
But John and I have been talking about this. We're considering, as a part of the show, periodically doing what I call the Mr. Wizard format.
Yeah.
Don Herbert, using a youngster. Somebody, in fact, I was quite impressed with Brian.
Brian was very good. Someone who's articulate, and because he's had some hunting experiences. He's 13 years old, or 13.
Not afraid to talk and asking questions. And I think this is something we can build into the show. And you are talking about, during the coming year, maybe bringing back, in some form, the recipes like we used to do.
Yeah, well, I think they're a real popular part of the show. They're one of my favorite parts. I don't know if we're going to do it exactly like we did it before with the tasting, and that's kind of up to the audience to decide whether they want to see that or not.
In fact, the viewers who have contributed on public television for this are going to be getting this survey questionnaire very quickly, and we're going to be determining what the format will be. But let's take a look now at what we have whittled down to the recipe. That was my idea. Let's shrink this baby down to 45 seconds. And this is a recipe that I tried with one of the rabbits that I got in that feature. And it's called Lemon Rabbit. William Wiswell from Grand Rapids contributed this recipe to our catalog of small game dishes. He calls it Lemon Rabbit. What it is a real simple way to slow cook a bunny in homemade barbecue sauce. You start by cutting up the rabbit in serving-sized pieces and browning them in oil in a hot skillet. Then transfer them to a crock pot, to which you add a 6-ounce can of lemonade concentrate. No water, just the concentrate, plus 3 tablespoons of brown sugar, 3 tablespoons of ketchup, and 1 tablespoon of vinegar. Now that makes a basic lemony barbecue sauce. Cover the pot and cook on high for 3 or 4 hours. The meat will be falling off the bones. Thicken the sauce with a couple of tablespoons of cornstarch and serve over rice. Lemon Rabbit is a tangy small game barbecue recipe you'll find in the Practical Sportsman section of the January Wilderness Journal. And the address on how you can get the Wilderness Journal coming up at the end of the program. Now, Johnny, I tried that recipe. It tastes like barbecue.
Does it?
You mix brown sugar and ketchup and lemon and vinegar. Barbecue sauce. We'll do that at deer camp sometime. Now, I got a great idea here. I've been wanting to put this on the show, and now I know why it hasn't hit the air.
Oh, your practical deer decoy eyes.
Yes. I've been trying to sell you on this.
For all those people that have decoys out there.
That's right. This is very important because decoys sometimes don't look terribly lifelike. What you do is you use a pop bottle, the plastic one, it has these little nubs on the bottom, and you just take and you cut out one of those nubs like that. I mean, it's not a big deal to do. I've already done it right here. Then on the inside of this pop bottle nub, I call it, you fill in with a magic marker or some black paint.
That's supposed to look like an eyeball.
Hey, let me tell you, look at that. Is that an eyeball?
Yes, it is.
That is not an eyeball. Wrong.
What?
And here's the payoff, Johnny. This little plastic nub
Such that it is.
goes right on the eye, over the eye. Of course, you can cut that a little better so it isn't a bug-eyed deer. But I think that even a bug-eyed deer like that, from a distance, you can see the shine, can't you, Matt? Yep. Huh?
Jumps to life, huh?
It jumps to life. You're still not convinced.
I'm not convinced.
We're going to have to put this out in the woods. Jim Priester from Rochester Hills, I think your idea is a winner, and I think that it'll produce more deer than just a regular decoy.
Okay.
And you know who we have to check when we're talking
The pros.
success? We go to the pros, which takes us to our trophy tales. Well, that fish right there is not pretty. This angler here is very pretty. So, and this is Wendy Spurbeck from Barrington. Or do you think that's a pretty fish?
I think it's the ugliest fish I've ever seen.
Okay, well, that's the general consensus.
To fight for an hour for something like this,
You battled this for an hour?
just about. In 100 and some foot of water.
So you were lake trout fishing, I bet.
Mm-hmm. Salmon fishing, too. Yep.
So you got it up to the boat and you said,
This is what I saw.
and you were
I
not,
was disappointed.
yeah, but it's a trophy.
It's ugly. I ate it.
Now, how did it taste?
Good. Good.
Okay, well, that's good to know. But you're out there salmon fishing. This was 6 pounds, 27 3/4 inches long. And have you ever caught any since?
No. Not like this. I don't want to.
But, it got you up here on stage.
Yeah.
This might land you, I don't know, an exercise video or something.
That'd be nice. That'd be nice.
Wendy Spurbeck from Barrington. Terrific. Thank you. 154 pounds. St. Clair River. This was right at the same week that other one was caught. This was the 23rd of April. 12:04. Was this noontime?
No.
12:04, meaning midnight.
I hooked it at about 11:10, and I landed it at about 12:10, maybe 12:20.
And you were fishing for what? You were fishing
Sturgeon.
You were fishing for sturgeon.
Yes.
Okay, with a dead smelt.
Right. My wife caught a smelt the night before. I threw it in a worm box, went out Saturday night, and
Was this a live smelt or dead smelt?
dead smelt.
Dead smelt. No
Just
kidding.
put it on the bottom. It's a new world record. On
It is.
20-pound
You have
test
right
line.
on your hat here, 154-pound sturgeon, 20-pound line world record holder for fresh water. Pretty awesome.
I couldn't believe it. Pulled me up and down the river.
What did you do with it?
We ate it.
You ate it.
Oh, it's
Did you eat it
great
right
stuff.
away?
Some of it.
Because I've heard that if you freeze sturgeon, it gets.
Then all you have to do is smoke it, and it tastes just like smoked pork chops. It's great.
I'll be darned. So what did it taste like when you had it fresh?
Shish kebabs, we liked it fried. Was all right if you didn't let it get cold. And what else did we do, huh?
Baked it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I imagine with 154 pounds of perishable sturgeon, you get cooking.
Well, you only end up with about 65 pounds of meat.
Oh,
though.
is that all?
Head alone weighed 23 pounds.
Wow. Did you have the head mounted or anything?
No, I still got that in the freezer. I still got a little bit. I may not. I'm not sure yet.
You ought to put it on the front of your car at least.
There you go. Mounted on top of my camper.
Well, Fritz Badenhoop, congratulations. That's an awesome world record. And coincidentally, on the cover of the Wilderness Journal this month is a sturgeon. Of course, that was the world record sturgeon. You don't have to have a world record to get on Practical Sportsman. All you have to do is meet the minimum qualifications for our Hunting and Fishing Awards. The Big John Fishing Awards, Deer Quest Hunting Awards are right here in the Wilderness Journal, and the Practical Sportsman Guide has an entry form plus the minimum sizes to qualify. Now, our banquets are coming up very soon. February 1st will be the first one, our Fishing Awards banquet. So if you don't have your award form in for your 1996 catch, be sure you get that in right away so you can come down and tell your tale. In fact, John, you won't be behind the camera the whole time.
Oh boy. See,
You
this is
won't.
how I find things out.
This is how you learn
Uh-huh.
that you're going to help me in the banquet, and we'll do the interviews. How about
Great.
that?
That sounds fun.
Now, in the
I've been trying
meantime,
to get out of this for years.
Yeah, in the meantime, I'll go over and do the guide. Wow, that scared me. I thought that was alive, John.
brother.
That's very lifelike. Let me go do the guide report. Before we get to the guide report, I do have a news flash. It was earlier today, a few hours ago. I saw a little patch of blue sky. Haven't seen that for a week. It was kind of exciting. See that there? It's been kind of crummy weather. I mean, we have thaws and snow and thaws and rain. It's been a mess outdoors, but there is fishing and hunting to be had. Let's start up here on our guide report in the UP. Hunting and fishing are slow up in the Keweenaw. They do have lots of snow. When we get our snow report, you'll see what I mean. Lots of snow throughout the UP. They're getting some perch and Ontonagon, fair walleye fishing. This is all in the UP ice fishing, basically, that's going on. Over here in Bay de Noc, they're getting a couple walleye, nice size ones, up to 2-footers. Marquette, they're catching walleye through the ice and getting some good perch fishing. And over in Muskong Bay, bless their hearts there, we do have a good fishing report. They've had a rough summer, a rough year, but they are getting some nice sized perch through the ice. Indian River, again, ice fishing in Black Lake, good perch and walleye fishing. Houghton Lake, there's plenty of ice there for most fishing in most areas. You're getting some walleye and perch are good up at the Cut River. Cut River is right between Higgins Lake and Houghton Lake, connects the two. Pilgrim Village, they're reporting pike, crappie, and bluegill on Lake Mitchell. Lake Mitchell is the big lake just to the west of Lake Cadillac. Steelhead fishing is good at Tippy Dam. Ludington, they're getting a couple pike and fair steelhead fishing. Now, below this line here is where we get real iffy on the ice. Whitehall, fishing is slow, unsafe ice. Over in Linwood, they're getting some fair walleye in the Saginaw River. We haven't got the reports from the bay. Down here in the Trenton Lighthouse, Detroit River, of course, we're not talking good ice here. Perch and walleye are fair. And Best Chance at Saugatuck reports rabbit hunting is good, steelhead fishing is slow. But down here, no ice. Take a look at our ice map. See, it's just nothing to write home about in the south at all. Unsafe ice throughout the southern lower peninsula. This will probably continue with this warmer weather we've had up in the northern lower. Up to 8 inches of ice. Houghton Lake has about 8 right now. In the UP, the western UP, it's slushy. And the reason for the slush, if you look at our snow map, they have 24 to 36 inches of snow on the ground up there in the western UP. So the UP has lots of snow. Actually around Indian River, Gaylord, 24 to 36 inches. Down south, a lot less than that. Well, there's an idea for rabbit hunting this weekend. Get your buddies together, get those guns out that you got for your first guns, maybe your first Christmas presents. Kind of a nice nostalgic thing to do. Take grandpa along, take a kid hunting, but above all, get outdoors. It's a great place to be. John Ford and I will see you back here next week. We got the rabbit, and Spike was right behind it, sniffing out its trail. How do you like that?